Guys, at this point, it's a really bad situation right now where a person who is about to take the lives of a mother and her 2 kids, a man gets shot down. You guys already know about. I'm pretty sure you guys already know about that Minneapolis shooter that got shot by the cops in this lady's apartment, where the cops and the guy Andrew Sundberg, they was in a 6-hour standoff. The police was trying to stop Andrew Sundberg from shooting this lady. They brought in his parents to try to talk him out of it. At that point, when the guy was about to take the lives of the mother and her 2 children, the police had to do what they had to do to try to protect the mother and her 2 kids. And after all that, the police are getting railroaded for saying if this guy was white, they would took the man, or this guy never had a chance. The police never tried to negotiate with Andrew because he was black. Again, you have these people from the left, from CNN, MSNBC, and other left wing news outlets or commentators that say if this guy was white, he would still be alive. They never get the man a chance, even though they was in a standoff for 6 hours trying to de-escalate the situation. But the problem with this is because now of a sudden they are using the mental health excuse. Instead of this guy, he obviously was having a bad day or something like that. He wanted to let some frustration. You had people from BLM coming out showing how hurt they are that this innocent unarmed black person who is just another George Floyd was shot down by the police because he was black. That's not this situation at all. This guy had multiple guns, and he lit up this lady's apartment complex like a freaking Christmas tree. He decorated this lady's house with bullet holes. But because he's black and because it was cops, mainly like majority white cops, you had BLM out here, and you had all these activists or all these politicians saying like this guy was such a sweet kid. This guy was never did anything wrong. This guy's social media was him posing with a freaking gun, 2 guns in fact. But all of a sudden, this guy was a nice, civil, clean guy. But the fact is, you had some people being like completely disingenuous with the whole story. And now, I'm gonna show you an article from the Minneapolis news outlet to give you guys more of a story about what actually happened. Take a look.
We're learning more about the police shooting that killed a man and the 911 call that started the standoff.
Only on WCCO, Jennifer Merrily spoke with a woman who was inside her apartment with her kids when bullets pierced the walls.
And this is above my bed.
Arabella Yarborough shares the sheer terror she says she and her 2 young boys felt Wednesday night.
I heard another bang and my ears started ringing. I turned to the left, and there was a bullet hole through my kitchen.
She and her sons laid on the ground as they waited for police to arrive, saying she feared for her life as she let officers into the building.
As I'm going, there's debris and bullets going back and forth, and I'm going to open the metal door that's locked so the police can get to us in my actual apartment.
A 6-hour standoff with neighbor 20-year-old Tekle Sundberg followed. Yarborough watched from afar.
They were yelling his name on an intercom. They were trying to have him come out. He refused to come out. He was hanging out the window.
According to search warrants filed, 2 Minneapolis police SWAT snipers shot Sundberg. We're told he died at the hospital. After the standoff was over, it says BCA agents saw multiple live and spent rounds outside Sundberg's apartment and multiple apparent bullet holes in walls. The document shows investigators recovered a loaded pistol with an extended magazine and cartridges in Sundberg's apartment. Friends of Sundberg's family stopped by a memorial outside the apartment complex.
Just as a parent, I just can't imagine the grief that the family has to deal with that another senseless killing happened.
A page to raise funds for Sundberg's funeral calls him a brother, friend, uncle, and son, saying he was a talented artist, calling him hilarious and energetic. Yarborough says she hopes people take into account the gravity of the entire situation, how it unfolded, and why she feels the police opened fire.
But that right there, they did their job and they took their time.
Now, the search warrant also noted less lethal rounds were collected on scene. We're waiting to learn if and when those rounds were fired. Attorneys Ben Crump and Jeff Storms are representing Sundberg's family. They also represent the family of George Floyd, among others. Amelia.
Okay, so you heard it. So you heard it here first. You had this guy Crump, and how much? I don't know if Al Sharpton got into this yet, because they said that they was gonna be representing this family the same way they represented the family of George Floyd. And that's my thing, man. This is not a George Floyd situation. George Floyd was unarmed. He had a police on his neck. He could not breathe. But the fact is, you do not have people that are willing to just look or to just wait for more information to come out. They rather just jump the gun and say, like, this guy was such an innocent, gentle soul. When this guy literally shot up this lady's apartment complex and decorated her house with bullet holes. And you know what really pisses me off the most? When this lady came out. No, I'm sorry. When BLM was marching down this lady's street saying justice for Andrew, this lady came out and confronted them about how they did not actually know what was going on. And they kept claiming that they knew this guy and all that stuff, but I'm gonna just show you guys what actually was transpired with this lady and the BLM protesters. Take a look.
Came near my idols because you guys are celebrating his life.
It was a terror. I'm sure it was a
This
terror.
is not okay. Okay.
You're alive.
Not
Shut
okay.
up.
You guys need to just let it go.
We're not trying to.
Grief in silence. This is not okay. This is not a George Floyd situation. George Floyd was unarmed. He was unarmed.
You're alive. Sorry.
This is not okay. My kids have to deal with this and probably have a mental illness now because they almost lost their life. There's bullet holes in my kitchen
Not in
because
you,
he
though.
sat in the fucking hallway watching my move.
This family wishes this never happened.
I wish it never happened either. I don't have a place to call home. I can't sleep that night.
She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay.
This is what they want to show on the TV. She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay. Just go home. Go home. Because none of you guys knocked on that man's door to check his health.
Shut up. He comes to my house. Shut up, nigga. You're
No,
fucking
you
alive.
guys did not come.
Why do you
He did not. You guys did not come and visit that man. This is not the time or the place. It wasn't even. This is not. It don't matter. Get your ass. It don't matter. Get away from me. Don't put your. Get away. No, because you think it's okay to get in my kid's in the car. My kid's in the car. My black kid is in the car.
Look at what you're
He
doing.
killed me. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. He tried to kill me in front.
Like I said, guys, I will quote this as many times as I want to, because it is a strong statement to this day. White, I'm not gonna say all, but there is a huge majority of white liberals that just need to shut the fuck up and sit their ass down. Because in that same video, you had some people, and and I guarantee you there were some white liberals telling this lady to shut the hell up. Hey, you still alive, so it should not matter. How much just saying stuff like that when this lady was in a life or death situation where she had to do everything she could to protect her kids and make sure her kids live to see the day, while this guy was in a 6-hour standoff with the police. So they ain't just come in and just shoot the guy because he was black. They gave this guy multiple chances, 6 hours of it. But you had these protesters that was saying, "Hey, it doesn't matter. Hey, you're alive. Shut up. It doesn't matter what you going through. These cops shot a innocent black man. This guy was not innocent." And then they go into this whole mental health situation. Hey, he was going to do a mental health situation. I ain't doing that with white kids shooting up a school. I ain't doing that with this. Okay, does that mental health excuse people for doing heinous crimes? No. So please stop making that stupid ass excuse. Black people hate it when they use it for a white kid shooting up a school. So why the hell is BLM using it now? This guy was not going through a freaking mental health crisis. This guy was just freaking homicidal at a time. If he was really going through a mental health crisis, he would be stopping to consider it. But instead, this guy was deliberately putting bullet holes in this lady's apartment. She did not know whether or not her or her kids was going to get hit. And that's the situation from these people. And this is why some of us say that BLM, a big chunk of it, is nothing but virtue signalers and panderers who don't wait for information to come out. Because they are out here protesting for a guy that was about to kill 3 people, a single mother and her 2 kids. And then when the mother confronted these protesters, they was telling her, "You are alive. Shut up." Does that sound like people who are on the side of black people? Because it doesn't sound like it to me. They are out because they are not out here protesting for law-abiding black people. They are out here protesting for black people. For some black people that even other black people don't want to associate with. And I ain't talking about the people on the right wing either. Some people who are law-abiding black people who don't want to be associated with these kind of black people. And the fact that you have a lot of people like Ben Crump. Let me show you this tweet real quick about Ben Crump and how he's using the mental health excuse. This is Tequila Sundberg. Minneapolis Police Department killed this smart, loving, and artistic 20-year-old after an hours-long standoff while he was experiencing a mental health crisis. We need answers from MPD as to why Tequila's mental health crisis became a death sentence. Because this guy was deliberately... Guys, this is what I keep saying. You had these activists, right? You had these activists that's all for pushing narratives and not actually waiting for more evidence to come out. Do you really think that this guy is going to win if he decides to sue the MPD? The MPD is going to freaking win, and they be like, "Well, why are you suing us for this guy when we literally gave him 6 hours to stand down, and we brought in his parents to try to talk to him?" But you won't hear stuff like that. They would just keep on pushing. Innocent black man, he was unarmed. White cop shot him. And this is why some black people will not grow at a higher standard, because we out here defending black folks like this. I'm not using the mental health crisis for when it comes to white kids and shooting up schools. I ain't using the mental health crisis now, because this is not okay. Mental health is not an excuse to shoot other people. It's never an excuse, unless it's under self-defense. That's the only reason why you shoot somebody, under self-defense. But you don't want to hear that from these people on the left that say gun control, gun control, gun control. But they don't want to take it to the account about law-abiding citizens who are not out here just shooting up random people. This guy was not a law-abiding citizen. He was a freaking nut job. He was homicidal. And this is why at the time when BLM got called out, BLM looked stupid as hell by people with common sense. But guys, let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. If you guys like what I'm saying, like and subscribe, share the video, hit the notification bell. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.